Massive, it's DJ Bubbles here from Island Beats Magazine, blog, radio. Once again, we found ourselves in the infamous studio, Papa Jaro, you done know. Last time we were here, we spoke with Luciano and Laser Current. Today we have another talented, intelligent, genius, Mark Tenn. How are you, Mark?
I'm very fine. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're welcome. It's nice to be here with you, Mark. So, Mark, we're surrounded by all kinds of equipment here.
Okay.
Looks like this is the recording room or where people
Yeah, well, let me...
cut and what have you.
Okay, this is the studio. Here is the voice room. This is the voice room where all the voicing took place. This is where we do the vocal. This is where the mic.
Okay.
And this is the voicing room where everybody do their work. Okay, this is a 45 studio, and we also do dub plates inside here.
Okay.
Okay, this part of it now, this is from long time, from when this was the machine they used to use from back in the 70s.
Wow.
To cut the dub plates, what they fit on here, and they'll give you the mic, and you can't make no mistakes because the plate is cut in the same time spinning. So while the singer is singing, he can't afford to make no mistakes.
Wow.
A lot of artists doesn't have this experience, okay? And it's a very great experience to have.
Of course.
And these are the equipments that were with us from those times, and these are the new ones. These are the newly elect ones, but these are the ones from the 70s.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Yes. So, Mark,
Yeah.
I thank you for that mini tour
Yes.
of Jaro Studio.
Right.
Tell me what asset you are to the studio. You're an artist yourself, am I correct?
Well, what? Say it again.
What asset, what addition are you to the Jaro Studio?
Okay. Well, Kilimanjaro has been in the business for quite a long time. And he has always been keeping dance. He is always in the sound system business, you know, and he has always have movements with young artists and artists who have been evolving in the music from a long time. So he is always setting a trend, and all the rest of the young artists will always try to come to his place and try to get a little, they call it buzz.
Exposure.
You know, a little exposure, but you know, we call it buzz. You know, and you know, everybody always hitch up here, and we all come around, and we'll make jokes, and we'll sit around, and we'll find time to make lyrics and try to better our prowess in the musical prowess. You know, if somebody's doing a 45, we'll help them with the 2 lines. Not like we're gonna help them with every line, but we will try to tell them that the grammar is wrong or the grammar can be this way, and you know, we brainstorm a little and try to fix things. Yeah.
The upcoming youths, okay?
Yes.
And you yourself, now I'm putting the spotlight on you. You're an artist, to my understanding.
Yes, I am an artist.
Now, how long have you been an artist?
Roughly it's nearly 30 years, 29 years to be personally exact. 29 years I've been singing, you know. And well, I don't want to say Jamaica, I don't say anything bad about Jamaica, but in Jamaica, we don't have any good platform to embrace artists with talent.
Yes.
And you must know that the music business, it's a monetary business.
Yes.
And it's very lucrative.
Competitive.
Yes, and it's lucrative. A lot of money's in it. So you gotta come and you gotta have somebody there to help you, to push you to another level. And it takes money. And now we have a lot of talent in Jamaica, but the problem is that they don't have any money. They don't have anybody with no money behind them to fight, to help them keep grinding out what they're looking for.
Support system. Of course, I fully understand. So, I mean, from what you said to us and explained, especially about the equipment,
Right.
Jaro Studio has been around from the 70s or before?
Well, it was before, I would say a little bit early 60s, late 60s, in the like 69, 68, you know?
Long time.
Yeah, that's quite a long time. And the movement's been going on because, you know, Kilimanjaro always been keeping dance, Super Cat, Nicodemus, a whole lot more, you know? A whole lot more. So much more, you know, Brigadier Jerry, all the rest of John of people who keep involved in the music. And Kilimanjaro always have the movements keep going because those days we didn't have like to come on a stage show. It's just a dance where people just come at the gate and DJ just hold the mic and DJ randomly for people. So it's nothing like a stage with nobody stage on the stage and calling names.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So for yourself as an artist, when did you start to hold your notes on the mic?
Okay, well, I used to go to New Day All Age School, and I used to have a friend called Fragga Ranks, Anthony Thomas. He's a DJ, but now he's gone to acting world in the America.
Wow.
Yeah, so he really said to me, Mark, let's try something. And then, you know, I said, well, he was a DJ and I didn't want to go in the sad era where he went, where he's at. So I said, all right, I'll try to be the singer then. I didn't even identify that I could sing that good. But then I noticed as I started to singing, I started to say, a lot of people started saying, you know, you have a nice tone, you know, you have a nice image too. And I like your image because music takes an image. You know, and they say, I like your image and I like the way I just like the way you sing. So what I started to do, you know, I started to say, okay, I gotta take this thing serious. I gotta jog in the morning. So I write with a timetable. 4:30 in the morning I got up, I jog. When I finish jog, I come back home and I skip.
Right.
Yeah, when I finish skip, I do some push-up. When I finish doing that, I bathe and I sweep up in my yard and all of those stuff and clean up around the yard and all of those stuff. And then I force myself to sleep for 2 hours, and then I do a little reading, and then I come on the road.
And sing.
And sing, that's what I do.
So how was your career? I mean, as singing, like what were some of the highlights of your singing career?
Well, Fragga Ranks was a known artist from those times because he was trying to be impactful with songs, and he had a few songs that was really grabbing at the time. Not really grabbing, but they were catching. You know, a fire sparked and it was catching, and I was glad to be a part of his team at the time because nobody knows me, so I was yearning to go. So I can write good songs. I was always spending time sitting down in my lab trying to write good songs and trying to match up with his DJ, you know, because I'm the singer and he DJ, so I have to make the balance, create that balance. And I did so well that everybody said, yes, Mark, you're doing so nice. And the first song me and he did, you know, a song called Now Is the Right Time to Turn Your Life Around. And then when we did that song, the whole place, it's playing IRFM and the whole people, everybody keep getting my neighborhood. I couldn't walk. We did the video for it and I couldn't walk on the street. I'll have to take a break.
This was in like the 70s or?
This was in 1996,
okay,
97.
we're coming up to more current times.
Yes.
And so you got some airplay with that.
We got some airplay with that.
Where else did your talent take you?
Well, what happened now, we and Fragga Ranks were there, still exploring, trying to be a duo. We were trying to be a duo. All right. We tried for about 9 years, and it seems like it's getting like nothing impact to us. But Fragga Ranks was saying, you know, Mark, I think we better try go our own way, you know. And I said, nothing is wrong with that. You know, you're still my friend. I still do song with you though. If it happened for both of us to still join back at the next period in time and we could team up again and do songs together, nothing is wrong with that. So we say, okay. So we both separate and go our own way.
Your own venture.
Right. And I go on my venture. I ended up around Buju Banton studio.
Oh.
Because Buju Banton was a good friend of mine. When I went around Buju Banton now, he started to did an album with me.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
What was the name of the album?
Well, I did a personal album, but what he did, he put out a various artist album with me doing one, each of his artists, because there were so many artists, Spectacular, Al Pancho, Anthony John, Luton Fire, me, myself. There were so much artists at the time, so he couldn't just really put out one album with me. What he did, he just put Spectacular, the whole of us, on a rhythm called Armageddon War.
Okay.
And he put out that album, and he put my song #1. I didn't choose it; he just put it #1. But it was a very good album. And my friend was going to the States one day, and he was on a plane, and he said, "Mark, you know, I was going on a plane, and I saw this album with your name, and when I see your name, I grabbed the album just to buy it to show you." And the man bring back the album to show me. He says, "Here it is, Gargamel label, Buju Banton." So Buju Banton, I thank you so much for all that you have done, Buju Banton. You have put out my music. You have expanded. create some expansion to, and I respect that, you know. And a lot of people laud me for the songs and the label. It's take a whole lot of work.
Lots of
A
work.
whole lot of work.
So from moving forward now, are you still like you're in the studio on a daily basis? Are you still pursuing?
Well, I'll never give up. I'll never give up because I always wake up and keep doing my curriculums. Jogging in the morning, skipping, doing my homework, less smoking. I don't smoke cigarette, I don't smoke grab, I don't smoke those things. I smoke a little tip of herbs. And I can smoke like 3 spliff a day, not more than that. Okay? So I try to learn to govern myself. Sit down and see what you're not doing right. Because sometimes you're doing things too much out of yourself. You need to sit back and relax and let people tell you some more about yourself too. And you must listen, you know, with an open mind.
So very true, Mark. So do you still do some recordings now?
I always do recordings.
Okay.
What happens is just that what I do, I come to the studio and I will get a rhythm and I'll sit down and write because I'm a writer. It's not every singer in Jamaica can write songs.
True.
It's not every singer in Jamaica can compose songs. So what I do, I write for people. When I'm not doing my do, I write for people. And I arrange and I also do like teach people how to inflict their voice. If they're having problems in the studio, not getting the right notes out, I put them on a timetable. Come, you're gonna jog 4:30 in the morning, and we go back 4:30 in the evening again, and we do some skipping, and we keep it rigid for like 3-4 weeks, and then we get him back into the studio, and then we sit him back down, and then we talk to him and tell him how to inflict from his diaphragm, and let him understand what he needs to be doing.
Definitely. So it sounds as if you have a multi-purpose here then.
Thank you very much.
Are yourself an artist.
Yes.
You've accomplished being on the Gargamel label, which
Right.
is amazing.
Right.
Irie FM airplay.
Right.
And plus you find the time to stick to your regime
Right.
and mentor others.
Thank you very much.
So that's basically Mark Tenn.
That's basically
amazing.
Mark Tenn.
But I am so very interested to share your talent.
Right.
Where can we find some of your music?
Well, you could go and you could type in Mark Tenn.
Tenn digitally or new alpha?
Okay, you just type in MARKTEN.
Okay.
Okay, and then it's Cramnet. I'm gonna give you KRAM. My name is spelled back way. Cramnet.
Cramnet.
Right, that's Mark Tenn.
Mark Tenn, Cramnet.
But it's spelled back way.
Okay, I get you.
Right, and when you go on Cramnet, you're gonna see all the songs popping up. Yes, I have so many songs because I did a lot of collaboration with Anthony John, Ras Zakari, it's a foreign artist too, Luton Fire, Al Pancho, you know, Butch Banton too, which is not, it's there but it doesn't release it yet. A lot of combinations,
Wow.
a lot of works.
So you basically, from my perspective, it sounds as if you've dedicated your being to music then.
Well,
Because you have talent in each, like,
you see, you gotta know what you want to do. Some people don't know what they want to do. So if you're on a quest, you must know that you're on a quest. Yes, I know what quest you're on. Because if my mother tell me to go to the shop to buy something, she told me to go to the shop. I'm not supposed to stop with my friends playing marble. So if I'm left in here today, she said I'm gonna get some musical thing done today. Mark, you gotta get some musical thing done towards a career. You don't stop with friends and go elsewhere where they want you to go and let's go have a drink around. It's not that. You must always remember what you left your home to do and go to where you always left. Tell yourself you were going to do what you were going to do. Do what you said you were going to do.
I guess.
Stay on your quest.
So you're the type who
I'm very rigid.
make your focus. And
Yes, I just
Gotcha.
always keep it. So I will always be working at 4:30 in the morning. I'm up sometimes even before time. Sometimes I'm out 4 o'clock. I'm up too early. I have to sit down, have some read till the morning. Come out a little, then I go jog. Then I go skip. I carry a few of the ladies with me. They come and they skip, and I teach them how to breathe, how to inhale, how to exhale, because it's a timing. Yes, you gotta know when to take in. You gotta know when to let out.
wow,
Yeah.
amazing. Now I'm just wondering, and forgive me if this sounds a little personal, what would you like to accomplish? I'm focusing on you and your talent.
Right.
What would you like to accomplish where you could say, you know, all of that rigid, your schedule, your daily tasks,
Yes.
your routine, I should say. Aside from all of that, and this is just about your talent, Mark Tenn,
Right.
what would you like to see accomplished where you could say, I've reached the apex of my dream or my
Okay.
goal?
Okay.
What's your ultimate goal?
Well, my ultimate goal is to be personal. I would love to have a company with a studio, on it, because what is happening here in Jamaica is that most of the youths them drop out of school early and they don't wish to go back to further, so you find that their grammar is poor and they're lyrically poor, and sometimes we have to help people. So I think if I had a studio and people would come there and would like to, some people can find the start of a song. Some people can find the hook of a song, but they just can't find the verse. They just can't find a way to arrange it and place things. So I would sit them down and not to change their song, because somebody have an idea in their song. The song doesn't complete it yet. It's just in their head. You got to take your time with them and ask them what would they like how would they like the song to be. Don't try to put their song the way you think. It's not in your head. It's in their head. So you allow them in a very subtle way. Which way would you like to sing, And I think you sing it that way. I think it sounds rather compatible that way. Express it more. I think you could put a little bit more vividness there, and we express and talk, feel things. That's what I do. I would really like to have a studio so I can sit down and help because we have some good talent in Jamaica, but their grammar is very poor, their writing skills is below par, but they got good vocals, they have the will to learn.
What do you think it would take for you to pilot that initiative?
Well, I think I'll have to pivot my career to the forefront first, because it's going to take monetary. So I'll have to pivot my career first,